guys are so good at this now. Okay, can you see the shapes is the what, Ian?
Title.
Title. This part of the book is the what, Micah? Front cover. This part of the book is the, oh, Michelle's not here.
What it says?
Evan, what part of the book is this?
Spine.
Very good, the spine.
It says.
This part of the book is the what? Dakota.
Back cover.
Back cover. And this book says illustrated by. So she's the person who did what, Vanessa? The illustrator does what? What does the illustrator do? She draws the pictures. Very good. And the author does the what, Anna? Author. Writes the words. The author writes the word. In this book was just to get us thinking about shapes. Today we are going to talk about the difference between two-dimensional and three-dimensional shapes. Bella, please put your hand down. Two-dimensional shapes and three-dimensional shapes. A two-dimensional shape is a flat shape, and a three-dimensional shape is a solid shape. So by the end of this lesson today, we're going to be able to identify the difference between a two-dimensional shape, or a flat shape, and a three-dimensional shape, or a solid shape. Boys and girls, crisscross applesauce, pockets on the floor.
Oh, is that top? And you're not going to cup no more.
Who can raise a quiet hand and tell me which shape this is, Athena?
Square.
It's a square. Boys and girls, when we look at the shapes, an attribute of the shape is what makes the shape.
It's flat.
Eli, raise a quiet hand, though, and say that again. Eli.
Flat.
Is this shape round, solid, or is it flat?
Flat.
Flat. This means it's a two-dimensional shape. It's just flat. Could I fill it with anything?
No.
Could I put anything in there?
No.
So if we look at the square, this is called, what is this line that Mrs. Fields, what is this part of the square called? Does anybody know? Ian. The side. And a square has 4 sides. And the square has 4 corners. And the corners are where the side meets. So these are the corners of the square. So how many sides does the square have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many corners does the square have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So a square has 4 sides and 4 corners. Are the sides on the square all the same size, or are they different?
Different. Same.
Raise your hand if you think they're the same. Raise your hand if you think they're different.
I think they both.
You think both?
Yeah.
If we look at a square and a rectangle, are these sides the same?
No.
Are these sides the same?
Yes.
Can you see the difference?
Yes.
So these sides are all equal. They're all the same. All 4 sides are the same. Okay? That's what makes it a square. It has 4 corners, it has 4 sides, and it has 4, and the 4 sides are equal. Yes, Alyssa?
It's when that's skinny, it's called thin.
It is thin, yes. Like thin this way. Right? Bella?
If you cut a rectangle in half, it would make 2 squares.
Okay. Quiet hand and tell me what shape this is, Maya. A triangle, yes. Thank you, Dakota. It is a triangle. If we look at the triangle, Mrs. Fields can draw this one on the board. How many sides does a triangle have?
4.
Dakota?
3 sides.
3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. And how many corners does the triangle have, Eli?
3.
How many? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. And this is also a closed shape, meaning all the lines meet together. And could I fill this up? Could I put anything in here?
No.
So it's two-dimensional.
Yes.
It's just flat. Okay, here's another one. You gotta erase the square. Who can raise a quiet hand and tell me? Okay, Micah. Now this one is different than the square because it doesn't have 4 equal sides. Who knows what this one, Samaya? Rectangle. Now the